The wait is over. The final of the Champions Trophy 2016 is here right now. And someone's going to make history because Argentina, Australia, Netherlands have all won this title 6 times. Who is going to be the first team to win it 7th? The crowd are ready. We cannot wait to get our teeth into this match. Let's join the commentary team, Charlie Broom and Mel Clulo.
So this is it. After 17 matches, it boils down to this game for gold as the world's top 2 female sides go head-to-head for a record 7th Champions Trophy title. It's the current Olympic and World Champions, the Netherlands, against the reigning Champions Trophy title holders and World League champions, Argentina. The Netherlands last won this trophy back in 2011 on home turf in Amstelveen when they beat Argentina 2-1. That's the only time in the last 6 editions that Argentina haven't taken the gold medal, a run that started in 2008 in Mönchengladbach. Well, the 2 umpires, Kelly Hudson from New Zealand, Michel Joubert, have led the sides out onto the park. We'll have the national anthems of both countries. Netherlands will be first, then Argentina's, then the shake of hands, the team lists, and then the start.
Please will you stand for the national anthem of the Netherlands. And please remain standing for the national anthem of Argentina.
The glasses on, the coach.
Well, this is the 5th time these two have contested the final of the Champions Trophy. The Netherlands have prevailed on 2 occasions, Amstelveen in 2011 and Gilmes in Argentina in 2007, while Las Leonas have triumphed in 2010 in Nottingham and Amstelveen in 2001. It's a repeat of the London 2012 Olympic final, which the Dutch won 2-0, courtesy of goals from Dirkse van den Heuvel and Maartje Pauwman. But that is the big news, because Maartje Pauwman, as we've heard, is not playing in this game. So that means number 13, Kaya van Marsacker, will step up at penalty corners, but the likes of Velten, Van Ass, Jonker have all got to come to the party here to make up for the loss of such a key player. As for Argentina, well, Carla Rebecki is the tournament's leading goal scorer with 7, 6 of them from open play. And also, they have 2 of the top 4 all-time highest goal scorers in the Champions Trophy in their lineup. Noah Barnuevo, number 2, is at number 2 with 27 goals. Carlo Becchi has 21. So there are the substitutes bench. The likes of Caballero, Dupuy, Campoy will have a lot to say for Argentina. Van der Poels, Schoenacker, Ketels have all played well coming off the bench for the Dutch. Well, there is Marcia Pauwman. She missed the final of the European Championships here in August with an injury this time. That was in the arm, in the elbow, in fact. But her opposite number, the captain of Argentina, Carla Rebecchi, will be looking to ignite her team here this evening. So, the scene is set, and the final of the 2016 Women's Hockey Champions Trophy is about to get underway. It is the Dutch who start us off, attacking the goal to our left-hand side in the all-orange strip, and a slight change for Argentina today with the blue skirts and socks opposed to the black from yesterday. Alongside me, Charlie Brewer in the commentary box for this final. It's the two-time Olympian for Great Britain, Mel Clulo. And Mel, from a neutral's perspective, Argentina have got to bring their A game to this, or certainly not the game they played yesterday.
No, definitely. I think whether they were holding something back or not, that's what the general feeling seems to be. And I think they are the side in the world that can disrupt the Dutch. Obviously, you know, it's a boost to Argentina that Marcia Pauwman's not playing, but, you know, the Dutch are not, their system, the way that they play is not evolving around one single person.
Well, Van As has the captain's armband in the absence of Pauwman, plays it underneath the defender, who is Sanchez, and here's Dirk van den Heuvel, and here is Ellen Hög, and there is Sanchez again to bring it away. The last 10 meetings between these two have been very close. The Dutch have won 4, Argentina 3, and there have been 3 draws. But interestingly enough, the last time Argentina beat Holland outside of Argentina was in Nottingham in 2010 at the Champions Trophy.
I mean, it's understandable, isn't it? Anyone that's been to Argentina and played or watched, it's an unbelievable following that Las Leonas get, and they really do have superstar status. And we've seen here as an English and a British following that it can lift the team, and it's tough. And I've been surprised with how well Argentina have played outside of their own country in this tournament.
Wanda Hede, who's had an excellent game, the number 20 for, or an excellent tournament, should I say, for Argentina with the aerial ball, but brought down by Wilhelmine Boss. Ellen Hög, little look up. Still Ellen Hög, rolling it into the circle. And that's behind for a 16.
I think Ellen Hög's had the best of tournaments, and I think it shows how good a player she is that we haven't really spoken about her much in the commentary box, or been able to actually comment on the fact that she's been on the ball. And I also think, again, that's a sign of how strong this Dutch side actually are.
Aerial ball again down that line. And we saw a table, didn't we, at the start of Argentina, Australia and the Netherlands all winning this trophy 6 times, but the Dutch have a phenomenal record in this one. They've got obviously the 6 titles, 4 silver, 9 bronze, so that's 19, and they've contested all bar 1 of the 22. They didn't qualify in 95 and they finished 5th in 1989. As for Argentina, 3 silvers and 1 bronze, so they have 10 medals from the previous 21 editions. Australia top them though, they've got 13 combined medals, but not another one today. They lost the bronze medal match, the United States of America, in a low-scoring shootout. Here is Van As cutting infield past Augustina Herbeef. That's run to Jonker now. Jonker, can she get it out from underneath and trying to go through the legs? It's Gomez. Shot comes in, good save from Belensuki, and it's a penalty corner. Well, it was a rasping shot from Ellen Hög. Well, she looks disappointed, but I'm not sure how she could have dealt with this any more differently.
Yeah, it's great play by Kelly Jonker there, just to roll the ball to Ellen Hög, and I think she should really, I think that's where the disappointment comes in, is that she should have cleared it along the baseline, almost, you know, sort of backhanding it along, and you can, obviously now she's played it into her own player for really a simple penalty corner to the Dutch, and they've got Van Marsacker on the top of the circle and Eva de Hoda as well.
So 7 from 25 in this competition. And Marsacker to the right, number 13. De Hoda with the white headband. It's De Hoda. Oh, she didn't get hold of that, but a spin out, and that's a penalty corner. Purposely off the bat by Gomez. She was trying to spin it out along the goal line. A little harsh, perhaps.
Well, I do feel it for her a little bit, because obviously she's got the face mask on and the gloves. And anyone that's played in that position knows it's really difficult to see the ball around your feet. But you can see there, had it, I think, gone slightly further off the baseline away from
goal,
the ejector, then it probably, you know, wouldn't have been another corner.
Well, De Hoda absolutely misflicked that last one. Now it's Van Marsacker. Van Marsacker, what a save! Follow up into the sideboards for Belensucci with a fantastic save down to her right-hand side. It's absolutely world class.
This is one of Kai Van Marsacker's favourite places to go across the D, looking for that sideboard, and she's absolutely ripped this one, no doubt about it. That is absolutely a phenomenal save by Belensucci, and it's saves like that that really, you know, big your team up. But Naomi Van As will be very, very disappointed with that follow-up to hit the sideboard.
Well, Augustina Habib has lost a ribbon from her hair. Habib. In fact, there's blue ribbon all over the place because her sister's also lost the blue ribbon out of her hair.
Conspiracy.
Van Marsacker, who scored the 2 Dutch goals here in the European final last August when Pauwman didn't play.
I think that's just a good thing about the Dutch, and I guess all good sides in the world, is that you don't rely on one corner specialist, and the Dutch have got a plethora of them here. Argentina the same with Rebecca and Barrenuevo, Australia as well, and there's the reason why those are the top 3 sides in the world at the moment.
Habib down the line, can't find Rebecca. There's the Argentina coach, Leon Menedeo. The score. Now we passed on the Hoda. Aguirre onto the foot of the score. Habib takes it quickly. Aguirre. All the way past Schoenacker, Jonker, and Dirks Van den Heuvel. All the way back to Schoenacker. The score. On the reverse stick, fires it across.
Certainly been a cagey start by both sides. Arguably, Holland have probably got into their rhythm slightly better than Argentina, but I don't think it is a rhythm at this particular moment in time.
Onto the foot of Ketels. Well, that's been missed. Jonker. Van den Heuvel keeps it in play. Up the line to Van der Poels. Goes to Van den Heuvel. Van Marsacker. Willemijn Bos. Van Geffen to her left, up the middle of the park, and just touching it around the corner was Ketels. Argentina just trying to have some possession of the ball. You don't want to be wobbling with the ball there. need to be passing it around, and that's a much better touch. Now Granato around the corner, Van Marsacker gets there. Caballero with a heavily bandaged right thigh. Well, we've seen some real excitement here today. Great Britain getting the better of New Zealand in a 7-goal thriller. And then the USA coming from 2 down against the Hockeyroos to win it in a shootout. The bronze medal. Fantastic never say die attitude from the American team. Belton dispossessed by Granato, who offloads it to Campoy.
This one unfortunately has got an air of a gold medal hanging around it, hasn't it? I think it's certainly been a cautious, cagey start by both sides, but also probably mutual respect.
Like you say, Mel, team that scores first probably goes on to win, because maybe, well, you would hope that if you conceded, you'd push forward to try and find the equaliser.
Exactly, and with the quality that both sides have got in their teams, but in particular their forward lines, it really is going to be which team defends the best that will come out on top.
Alison Allen looking on. Underhader dropping it out. Gets it back from Gomez. Gomez again. Forward it goes, and able to pick it up is Alfino Marino. Cadles loses possession. Here goes Rebecki. Rebecki wins the free hit, taken quickly. Play on now. Chance here. Sanchez on the reverse stick. Fires it in. It's got in. It's been touched in by Caballero. Martina Caballero ghosting in front of the Dutch defence. Deflects it past Joyce Sombrook, and Argentina score with their first attack of the game. Their first shot in a game in almost a quarter.
Oh, it's fantastic, and it's the quick restart here. Goes out wide on the backhand, and Caballero just gets in front of Van Marsacker. Sanchez with the reverse stick cross, nothing really that Joyce Sombrook could do, and as you say, Argentina really have soaked up a fair bit of pressure and have got the all-important goal. For me personally, the ball wasn't stopped dead, and it's just fantastic to see that actually the umpiring decision was it's in and around the area, let's play, and Argentina have taken the lead definitely against the run of play.
So the Dutch will need to press, and well, Mel, we'll see now if Argentina go on to win. Berg moves out to Caballero. Valencia Habib, and pushing the back from Willemijn Bos, and Bos is going to be spoken to. Habib with the free hit, fires it in, and that's another touch, but it's 16. De Hoda, Bos, and Caballero decided to. The final is the time for her first goal of the competition, but it was really well worked the way she ghosted in front of the Dutch defence, and it's very, very quiet around the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre.
No, yeah, it is, and the thing for me was the lead that she made. It wasn't over 6, 7, 8, 9 yards. It was literally 2 yards, jumping Van Marsacker as the ball was being delivered, and she used the pace that Sanchez generated on the cross to just use her wrists and deflect it towards the goal.
Herg on the reverse stick, it's into the danger zone, but put behind by Habib. De Hoda drops it out to Bos, back to De Hoda, who now has space to exploit off the stick of, it looked like it was off the Argentinian stick on the edge of the circle, off Von De Hoda perhaps. One circle penetration, one goal.
this is quite an interesting situation that the Dutch find themselves in, because they're not used to being behind in matches. They're used to obviously taking the lead and then pushing on to get 2, 3, 4 in a game. So now it'll be interesting to see what their mindset is, obviously for the 3 minutes of this quarter, and then how Alison Allen then speaks to her players to get them coming out playing in the second quarter.
These two clashed in the semi-final of the Champions Trophy. Michelle Joubert just being clear in her message. Van As is a free hit. Felton, De Goede. 16. Danger. Is the call from the umpire. Well, it is quite high, there is no danger.
Yeah, arguably Zandvoort up there or Kelly Jonker, they potentially made it dangerous by putting their stick so high above their head.
Oh, it's been turned over here, and a chance. Her beef into Marino. Marino, who's done very little in this competition thus far, looking for the penalty corner. Delfina Marino gets it across the goal. Sombroek listed into her defender, Kaya van Marsacker. And that is a very nervy save from Sombroek. She's falling backwards as she makes it, and that's why it comes up into van Marsacker. You want your keeper to be driving through the ball as they clear it, but De Goede getting robbed, and good counter-attack.
Yeah, it's fantastic double teaming. I think it's by Romang, one of those players, and as you say, Marino has been a little bit quiet in this tournament, no doubt about that, but she does really well to stay patient, generate something towards the goal. And as you say, Joyce Sombroek's weight is all wrong. The little bounce in front of her wouldn't have helped her, but those should be the things that they're training. And as you say, it's a nervy start and another opportunity for Argentina to potentially get something on the board.
Barrio Nuevo at the top of the circle, along with Aguirre. It's Barrio Nuevo. Oh, yes! Barrio Nuevo doubles the lead as she rifles it into the left-hand side of Joyce Sombroek's goal. And the Argentinians are rejoicing in the stands because it's Netherlands 0, Argentina 2.
Oh, fantastic by Noel Barrio Nuevo, and it's just right at that last minute, she opens up her wrists and slides it to the post player. Admittedly, it's going at Schonacker's head. I mean, she doesn't really do anything with her stick. Self-preservation there, and it's gone between her, Schonacker and Sombroek in goal, and 2-0 to Argentina, 2 circle penetrations and 2 goals. I think that's what you might call efficiency.
So Noel Barrio Nuevo makes it 2-0 to Las Leonas here. The Dutch have it all to do now. 2 goals in 4 minutes. And Marcia Pauwman looks on stony-faced, a little shake of the head. But Noel Barrio Nuevo, the second highest scorer in Champions Trophy, now has 28 in the competition. And Alison Allen is going to earn her corn here if she can turn this one around. Well, I think it's safe to assume that Argentina didn't come out to play yesterday on the balance of play that we've seen in the first quarter. They, like you say, Mel, have been desperately efficient. Romang! Oh, I thought it's another one. This time from Marino, ghosting in. It's Delfino Marino, number 12, right of screen, who gets in front. That is not far away.
But again, it's the lead run from the striker. It's not over a big distance, and you could see the reaction from Willemijn Bos. She was almost surprised to see an Argentina forward getting in front of her, but she was flat-footed. They've got to be careful, Holland, at this stage, and the reaction from some of the players when that second goal went in was almost shoulders down, shake of the head like Marcia Pauwman. Still a long way to go in this game, and the Dutch are a quality side, but they're going to have to sort themselves out at quarter time.
Well, indeed, quarter time can't come fast enough for the Oranje. And there is the quarter time hooter, and what a start to this final from Argentina. Noel Barrio Nuevo scoring in the 14th minute, but Martina Caballero giving Las Leonas the lead on the 10th minute. And at quarter time, it's the Netherlands 0, Argentina 2. Well, Mel, there's a lot of work for the Dutch to do here, but when we look back at these goals, I remember the other day when you were with Chris on the park and you were talking about defenders and attackers, and a stationary attacker is very difficult for a defender because when they move over a short period, short distance, it's almost impossible to defend, and that's exactly what's happened here.
Yeah, it's absolute quality. The distance is 2-3 yards at best, as I've said, but it's the speed at which they do it, and Van Marsacker was taken by surprise without doubt. And then Barrenueva here, she's almost quite casual, I think, when she drags flicks, and that's, you know, that's her style, that's her personality, but she is deadly, and she doesn't get, you know, some of the credit that she actually deserves. As you said, she's the second leading goal scorer in the competition, and it'll be interesting to see what's going on in this hole right now, if I'm honest.
Just listening in to Alison Annan, and it would be safe to say she is not happy.
She hasn't really been happy when they've been winning, has she? Because that's the standards that she sets for this team. She herself was involved as the Hockeyroos in the golden era, and we could be in for a fascinating second quarter.
Okay, let's hear from Abby.
Yeah, Matthias, you've had a few opportunities on goal and you've converted 2 of them.
Yes, yeah, we were lucky with the first one. Was, I think, our first or second attack, and then okay, the corner is one of our strengths, and well, the match is a bit different than yesterday.
Is it key now to get to half-time with a clean sheet, or are you going out for more goals?
Yeah. We hope to keep the 0 now and keep the minutes go through, and well, keep playing the ball as they are playing now.
Well done, thank you.
Good to hear from the Argentinian bench now. You feel the Dutch have got to score next. That's some aerial. Granato chasing this one down. Van Geffen under some pressure, and Rebecki almost nicks the ball off the end of Van Geffen's stick.
I mean, Van Geffen's on literally the road to nowhere, and you could see here a little cheeky grin by Carla Rebecki. Once she jabbed the ball away, she knew that she, you know, had she not got such a good touch on it, she would have been in.
So, Barrenueva to Habif. This is Gomez. Back to Van der Heide. Barrenueva down the line, and across to put it out is Schoenacker. Taken quickly by Argentina. Marino on the reverse stick. #23 orange, Margot Van Geffen being singled out for chat by the officials. Oh, what a touch that is from Rebecki. Trying to the backhand into Granato, but De Hoda is there, and Argentina can build again. But it's a fascinating game. I mean, for everybody, including us, because not often that you see the Dutch 2 down inside the first quarter and having to really work to get back into it. And so it's just it's new territory for everybody. Oh, they wanted the advantage there. Sanchez was through. And that's a card for Van der Poels. And she'll sit down for 2 minutes. Second green card of the tournament. Ball into the circle and just helped away by Van Marsacker, and it is a nervy Dutch side right now. Alison Annan, she'll be... even if they manage to pull this one back, she won't be happy, just purely because of the first quarter performance. But Habif drops it back out.
It's just not very often you see a Dutch side second to the ball. Argentina is so much hungrier at the moment.
Here goes Marino. And Marino dispossessed by De Hoda. And, well, the big players for the Dutch haven't stepped up yet. De Hoda has been a little bit effectual, but everybody else, you say, Mel, just 1 or 2% off the pace. Schoenacker, it's into Argentinian sticks, Dr. Van den Heuvel. She's being pushed back. Tag teaming. Habib and Marino.
I'm sure also in the back of the Dutch mind is, as they push forward to try and get themselves back in the game, Argentina have got some of the quickest forwards in the world, and I would argue that the Dutch have got a fairly slow back line, so there has to be an element of nervousness, particularly the way that they've started the game so far.
The score hooks it back in play. The ball over the top. Van Marle, Velten to Bergse van den Heuvel. Bergse van den Heuvel, she's got Ketels steaming along outside her. Ketels into the circle. Ketels pulls the trigger. And the keeper makes the save. It's still alive. Velten can't win the penalty corner. But that was better from the Dutch.
The lateral lead by Dirks van der Heuvel with the ball, and Ketels does really well to get ahead of it. Almost hits Belensucci, doesn't it, rather than her making the save.
And she catches that absolutely sweetly, does Ketels, and goes across the goal. And you can't ask more than your forward. We heard Alison Allen saying, you know, talking about Levi Velten in the game yesterday, look, you just got to hit the target because you never know what can happen, and Ketels has done that there. Van Marle with some space down the left-hand side. Comes back inside Aguirre. Van Marle then straightens it up. Here's Van As onto the reverse stick. Shot comes in and it's another save from Belensucci, and she's had a great game, the Argentinian goalkeeper. She must have up to 4 or 5 decent saves in this one already.
Yeah, Naomi Van As on the backhand again, shot on target. Belensucci loves these big games, doesn't she?
Play on. And the Dutch are considering the challenge. No. Habib drops it out to Van der Heyde. Onto the foot of Van As.
When you're looking at referrals, I think it's always important to look at the person who's involved in the situation, and it was Naomi Van As there.
Good chase down from Jonker. Here's Velten. Velten trying to get it out from under her feet, slips it back in. What an important touch that is from Gomez. And Argentina survive another scare at the back, but the Dutch starting to find their attacking prowess.
Yeah, I thought she had an option just to roll the ball to Ellen Hogue on top of the circle, but you know, umpire Joubert's just spoken to Velten about back chat, and again, something that you don't often see from the Dutch is them being frustrated with some decisions.
I think that there's a lot of back chat, isn't there, from the Dutch, and you get that with them when they're rattled. Augustina Habib.
All that does to Argentina is basically say, brilliant. Job done, if you like, because now you've knocked the Dutch off their stride, because they're now worried about what the umpires are doing and not actually about what they're doing on the ball.
Van As with Granato for company. Van As still going, feeding it up to Jonker. Jonker's touch is heavy, but it falls to De Hode. De Hode in round the back. De Hode pulls it back and pulls it back to Sanchez. Sanchez to Barrionuevo. Barrionuevo again. Sanchez tries the aerial ball. Bergse van den Heuvel puts it out of play. Sideline ball. There are the black sticks. Oh, Gemma Flynn not too happy, just hiding her face. Sophie Cox. Anita McLaren.
Tried to come incognito, didn't they, without their black sticks uniforms on?
De Hode. Van Geffen. Picked out by Habib, and here is Marino. It's 1-on-3. Marino's going to have to do this by herself. Steps on the stick of Eva De Hode and goes nowhere. Van der Poels takes it herself after everybody drops off. Velten and Van Geffen run in front of her. Here is Levi Velten. Velten into the circle, head up. Velten driving to the line, onto the foot. Has to be a penalty corner. Aguirre in the way. from leader by Velten. And the first penalty corner of the game for the Dutch.
Hope does really well initially, but again, Velten using her body to stop Habib from getting to the ball, and then the ball just pops up onto the Argentina defender's body. They've got to make one of these count, the Dutch.
Well, this would be a nice way back into the tournament. Third penalty corner for the Willemijn Bos. And Eva de Hoda at the top of the circle. De Hoda to the left with a white headband. It's Bos, slaps, and off Caballero.
Naomi Van Asch generates a lot of pace on the injection, and Willemijn Bos with the slap, looking probably for an R2 deflection. I think it's Velten that's outside the post player, but great running by Caballero.
De Hoda this time on the flick. And that's, was that off the keeper, or was that sounded like it came off a stick? Let's have a look.
Clearly looking for the deflection from Van der Heuvel.
It's Gomez. Gomez has just plucked this. She did it yesterday as well. I think it's even better because I think De Hoda gets a little touch on it too. Anyway, some good work from Julia Gomez. Van Asch. Goes to Van den Heuvel. To Van Asch. Van Asch with a little spin, gets it strong. Up off the Argentina stick, which wasn't dangerous, but then Van Asch's next moves made it dangerous. Dropped out by Sanchez. Campoy loses out and then doesn't play to the whistle and almost puts her team in a spot of bother. Gomez steps up though and fires that up the park.
It's interesting watching Kelly Jonker play, because she gets herself into the danger zone, so it's sort of 4 or 5 yards out from the goal line. And there she was sprinting to get ahead, and actually sometimes as that centre forward you need to actually post up. I think Naomi Van Asch was trying to just probably play a 1-2, and Kelly Jonker had disappeared.
Delfina Marino back into the corner. Dahina now finding herself up in the front line. And it's starting to rain, would you believe? Just spits and spots. Ball cracked in from Rebecki, and Sombruk has to make the save. Van Asch, it was Caballero again who gets the touch. Or was it off Van Geffen?
Van Marsacker, I think. Better defending. Questionable which side of the stick it was on, but at least she read the run this time of the Argentina forward.
De Hoda plays it on to Ketels. Ketels with some space to run into. Habib's trying to get back. Ketel goes cross goal! And Jonker, over score, couldn't get a stick on it.
I think Ketels has probably been one of the better Dutch players today. Whenever she's on the ball, she's trying to go forwards. Gets too much on it, probably a little bit upright on that reverse stick shot stroke cross. If she'd have got a bit lower, perhaps it would have gone along the floor. But she really has been the bright spark for them so far.
Here she is, lays it off to De Hoda. De Hoda gets robbed by Granato illegally. Velten can't bring it under control. Zuluoga. The score, Marino. Swinging sticks from Van Marsacker, give away the free hit. Zuluoga. Gomez. Turnover ball and a chance here. Jonker. Oh, it's between Ketels and Veltin. Veltin takes up the challenge. Veltin past Zuluoga. Veltin still going. Veltin all the way across goal. What a run from Levi Veltin. One of her silky best. But the finishing touch couldn't be applied in front of goal. De Hoda. Little touch in. Here's another chance. De Waard on the reverse stick. And Jonker puts it over.
You can feel the pressure building from the Dutch. Great little touches there. Zandervaart, Kelly Jonker with the final shot, and disappointing definitely that she hasn't hit the target, and she'll probably get the rocket from Alison Allen at half-time for that. But I think Velton's becoming more and more influential in the game as well. That last run was brilliant from her, and what we're used to seeing.
The score loses possession as she's muscled out of it by Florencia Habib. Sanchez, Marino. Foul tackle coming in from Schernacker. Marino. Across the face of goal. And Cedrez on the far post. Well, you wonder how many times the umpires can ask them to be quiet. It was because they felt it hadn't gone 5 metres, the Dutch.
But they've got the ball, so what's the point?
I think they're possibly just highlighting it for next time, maybe. But they've got to be careful. But the point is, they're going to keep doing it until the umpires take matters into their own hands and issue a card. Because, okay, the first one will be green, but after that it'll be yellow, and that's when it becomes really serious.
Yeah, and I think, to be fair to the umpires, they don't want to be sending players off, particularly that it's a final. You don't want to send them off anyway.
Oh, nice touch from Marino. Oh, can't quite find the supporting run, which had been made by Sanchez. A couple of lovely little touches from Marino. Habib to Van der Heide, who seems to be comfortable in the back line or the midline.
Seems to be another.
Habib's robbed it back. A chance here as it goes out to Rebecki. Rebecki spins away from Van Geffen on the reverse stick across goal. Sombrook makes the save.
I say Van der Heide seems to be another youngster that Argentina have discovered.
Granato. Zuluoga. Marino drives into the circle and won't get the chance to pull the trigger. But what a fascinating opening half of hockey we have had. Barrenuevo scoring the second of 2 Argentine goals, the first from Martina Caballero. And at the long break, the world and Olympic champions are down in this one. Netherlands 0, Argentina 2.
I'm with Wocho Sanchez. You set up that first goal and got your team well and truly on the way.
Yeah, we're pretty excited because we want to win this game, and I think we realized all the things to win it. So I think we are doing well.
It's like a different Argentina side today.
Yeah, we love to play finals.
I'll let you go. Enjoy your half-time break and good luck in the second half.
Yes, they certainly do like to play finals. A totally different performance from yesterday, and they have the Netherlands shaken. They lead by 2-0. Can they hold on? Will there be a different approach? We'll look back at all the goals after this. Well, welcome back to the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis. We've just about seen everything here. Argentina lead the Netherlands by 2-0, but more importantly, it's neck and neck between a squirrel and a lion in the hamster race. Yes, I did say that. Let's have a look at the stats of this game so far. It has been breathtaking. Totally different Argentina from yesterday's match. They lead by 2-0. The Netherlands are knocking at that door, though. 12 shots to 5, 11 circle penetrations to 7. They've had more of the possession and more penalty corners. They keep knocking at the door, Sarah, but they can't open it. The goalkeeper in great form.
Yeah, they've struggled at the moment, haven't they, to put the ball in the back of the net. But I think as the game progressed in the first half, they were starting to come into it a lot more. We were starting to see Lieder by Velten get into the left-hand side of the baseline, and certainly they've had their chances with penalty corners.
Yeah, we hoped for this start, didn't we? We hoped as a neutral that Argentina would be a completely different side, and they have been.
Absolutely, they've ramped it up. They know it's an important game. They always show up for finals. But like you say, the Netherlands, they're winning the stats on circle penetrations. I'll expect to see them come back in the second half. But we said before the game it was going to be who put away their chances, and Argentina have done that better in the first half. Yeah, and it's great for the neutrals to see the Dutch under pressure. The first time in this complete competition that they have been a goal behind, and it was a beautiful bit of skill.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, Cavallero has been extremely good this tournament. She probably gets overshadowed by the big names, but what a fantastic touch that is. Great ball in from Sanchez. I mean, it's got a real lift on it, but even so, Cavallero continues to stay in front of the Dutch defender and get that touch whilst the ball's in the air. Yeah,
we've spent a lot of time with the Argentina. They're in the same hotel, and you can see they're a great team together. They love playing with each other, and when they went 2-0 up, you suddenly start believing, don't you?
Yeah, they enjoy scoring goals. They're very teamy. As such, they stay together nice and tight. Especially when you're in a foreign country, and you're away for a long time. Just having those friendships amongst your team, they count for a lot, and they get you through some of the hard times. You normally see the good signs of a team when you're not going so well. You don't see that very often with the Argentinians because they're normally on the front foot, but they really are a solid group of players, and they're looking good forward going to Rio. Yeah, we saw in the bronze medal match that a goalkeeper can win you a game, and Suchi's doing his her very best.
Yeah, I mean, she always pulls it out in big games, particularly in the final. Look at her, and the celebration afterwards, it means so much to her. Getting down low, stick side, that's a fantastic save. And as we said, Netherlands have come into the game more and more now, but Suchi's equal to every opportunity they've had. She's very smart, and we've seen in this tournament those balls go in from those tight angles on your post, and she's done extremely well to keep that out.
The Dutch are already out. They're obviously having a bit of a team talk behind you, Sally, but which players do you think are going to open this door? Because if they do, you never know, do you, in this game?
The truth is that any of them are capable of that. They've got their flashes of genius, but Velten, you want to see her more on the ball. Van Asprey running with the ball. They're doing a cracking job so far. Just needs one to go across the line. I think this will be a high-scoring final. I can see Abby with Marja Pauwman. Let's hear from Abby.
Yeah, Marja, you've scored from 6 penalty corners in this tournament. Netherlands had 4 in that first half. How much do you wish you were out there?
Yeah, we were a bit unlucky, I think, with the penalty corners, and also we created a lot of chances, but we didn't find the net yet. But I expect in the second half they're going to score some goals.
What was the main message in half-time?
Sorry?
What was the main message from Alison in half-time?
That we have to play with confidence, and that the goals are coming in the second half, and that we have to do it together and work hard for scoring goals.
Thank you.
Play with more confidence. They've never lacked confidence, have they, the Dutch side?
So it can't get much higher. A couple of occasions, again, Alison Annan tells them to put the goals on target. There's been a couple of flashes over the goal that I'm sure she'll have picked up with them. Put it on target. Caused Suki some problems in goal. She's made some fantastic saves. It's going to be tough to get it past her in the form she's in today, but I think if they get more goals on target, put the ball across goal, force the Argentinians to make mistakes, we could see a really good second half.
OK, Sally and Sarah, thank you very much for the time being with. Pushback is just moments away. The crowd are really enjoying this fantastic match so far. It's Argentina who lead by 2-0. Can the Dutch come back in this final, the gold medal match? Let's join our commentary team. That's Charlie Broom and Mel Clulo.
Thanks, Chris. Well, everyone's enjoying a bit of Neil Diamond after the hamster wheel race. And no one's going to let the British summer weather dampen their spirits, especially when you've got the 2 best sides in women's hockey out on the park. But all the way from Argentina, where it's winter, to make them feel at home, it's cold and raining. Oh, the team's out nice and early, but the Dutch have been slowly growing into this one. And if they can get the first goal in this second half, it could be a very interesting remainder of the match. Oh, Baranueva, Delfina Marino, all key players for Las Leonas. And they are showing that fighting spirit here this evening in the final of the Women's Champions Trophy. The Argentinians looking for a hat-trick of wins, their second hat-trick of wins, if they can get over the line here this evening. Rebecca, the skipper, gets us underway. Netherlands 0, Argentina 2. And Mel, respective thoughts on both sides after the first 30.
I think Marcia Palmer was right. The Dutch have been growing into this game. The fact that they were out 3 minutes before, you know, the end of half-time probably says that they've had probably the paint stripped off the walls. I can imagine Alison Allen is not happy at all with the way that they've played, and it is crucial for them to score the first goal. Argentina, credit where credit's due. They weathered the storm, scored their 2 goals, and now it's really up to Holland to take the game to Argentina.
Here is Van Geffen. Van As, touch lets her down. Sanchez. Van As takes the ball back off her. Infield to Van Marle. Kitty Van Marle, she can roll this one on. And Van As was just in front of her, but she just gets crowded out of it by Aguirre. Rebecca. Forward from Wanda Hayder. And Marino will keep this in play. Marino up against Van Marsacker. Sanchez on the run down the line, and the ball was there. But it's off the foot of Dirkse van den Heuvel. Marino. Wanda Hayder. Off her foot.
It really is up to Holland to take the game to Argentina. There's no reason for Argentina to take any risks whatsoever with the 2-goal cushion. And as I've said previously, I think you know...
What a tackle that is from Rebecca on Evie de Goede. And Dirkse van den Heuvel wins it back off Wanda Hayder. Here's Liedewij Velten, Jonker in motion in front of her. Dirkse van den Heuvel. Will come back. I'm not sure that Velten would have got there. Ellen Herg pulls it back, looking for the penalty corner, gets it. Good work from Ellen Herg. Another chance for the Dutch at the top of the circle.
Yeah, Ellen Herg is renowned really for being on her backhand and taking some shots. And it's just there, Gomez does make the block tackle, but unfortunately for her, it lands onto Aguirre's foot. And really, if Holland can score now, we're going to have a game on our hands, and with Kai van Marsacker and Evie de Goede on top of the circle, option 2 and option 3 from a Dutch perspective are available and ready to fire.
Always seems to be Aguirre's foot in that Argentinian circle. In it comes, it's Van Marsacker, little slip, de Goede! Oh, what a penalty corner that is! There was some anger management in that drag flick. She absolutely ripped it into the back of the net, and it's game on in this women's final.
Well-worked penalty corner routine here. Kai van Marsacker just plays the ball. Evie de Goede with so much time and space on top of the circle. She's got time to really gather it and pick her spot, really. Behind the back, Van Marsacker takes Granato out the equation. Habib tries her best on the post, but beaten for pace, and you can see what it means to Marcia Palmer.
Evie de Goede with her first goal in the competition, and it comes 3 minutes into the second half. And this now is set up very nicely. Barrio Nuevo down the line for Sanchez. Sanchez comes onto the forehand and turns back into Van Marsacker, through Van Marsacker, then through Ketels. Some ridiculous individual skill from Sanchez. Ball in. Oh, and it's off Willemijn Bos. Willemijn Bos is going to refer this. Let's listen in.
Dino,
I get a penalty corner for a foot here in front of the D. In front of the box. Can you please check for me a Dutch foot? They say no foot.
So it's a Netherlands referral, and we're looking for a foot.
Yes, please.
Good referral. Looks like Carla Rebecki's just got her stick in front of Willemijn Bos. Certainly looked at the initial angle, it looked like it came off the leg. But it looks like Rebecki's got that touch and it's come over the top of Willemijn Bos's leg.
Yes.
I have a decision for you.
Yeah.
There was no foot, the ball came up off the Argentine stick. It's a free out.
Thank you.
And Netherlands
They keep their referral. Thank you.
So good referral. You can certainly see why Michelle Joubert blew it from the angle she was stood at. Onto the leg of Van der Heide. Beef just getting a little mixed up with where the free hit's supposed to be taken from. Boss up to Jonker. Jonker throws it too far in front of Barry Nuevo. It did come off the defender's stick, so it's a long corner for Holland, which Van As will take. Van As rolling into Jonker. Jonker turns it around the corner and swinging at it was Ellen Hög, who wasn't too far away.
Holland have definitely started with so much more intensity. It's how we're used to seeing them play, and Ellen Hög with the touch and Kelly Jonker not too far away.
Schoenacker over to Hoda. And the Heide. The ball underneath, but that's not the place to be playing that sort of ball when the Dutch are in this sort of hunting form. Van As seems to want to take every free hit into the foot of Van der Heide, left by Sanchez. Ketels comes across, drops it to De Goede. Schoenacker. Renato, who's done very little in this final, gives away the free hit. Schoenacker. And Velten spins herself and those two are leader by Velten. No, hold on, who's gone? Jonker, no. Gomez and Jonker.
Yep, for pushing in the circle. Both running off with big grins on their faces.
Kelly Jonker, her first green card of the tournament. Julia Gomez-Fantasia, her second, picked one off in the game against the USA on match day 2. Handbags at dawn?
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Or at dusk?
Why send them both off? Just have a word with them. It's a contact sport, but we didn't see it, so we don't know how
rough and ready it was.
Exactly.
Now Marino trying to get on the end of it. And Sombrook clears to De Goede. Van Geffen. Just crowded out of it. Her beef plays it forward. Marino. Now she's got it on the front of her stick, but good tackling back from Willemijn Bos. Dirkse van den Heuvel. Van Marler and Van As in front of her. This is Van As. Van As back to Dirkse van den Heuvel. And Zuluaga will just usher that one over the goal line. Good view from the wire cam, high up above the pitch here. Up the sideline. Caballero can't bring it under control. Over to Hoda, to Ketels. Ketels to Dirkse van den Heuvel. Back inside Habib. Augustina Habib doing well. Free hit to the Dutch. Dangerous ball across, cut out by Habib. And here is Granato. De Goede just gets her body in the way.
It's definitely the speed of the Dutch passing now has moved up and probably another 2 or 3 gears compared to the first half. they're almost getting their flow now going. You could see little interchange between Van der Heuvel and Van Ass, and that's what we're used to seeing in this tournament. Little short, sharp passes.
Nuevo as the sides return to 11 each. Sanchez and Habib exchange passes. Here is Caballero. Caballero into Sanchez. Sanchez cuts back inside, and Tejada just getting a little feisty with Sanchez. Argentina yet to register a shot in this quarter. Renato chasing, but she's chasing alone. Caballero's held her position, but it's a nice ball through to Van der Poels.
Wasn't far off being a good tackle and a counter-attack opportunity, but definitely the stick tackle.
Belton to Vescore. Schoenacker wants it on this right-hand side. Ketels gives it to her. And it's well cut out by Van der Heyde. Sanchez, Mario Nuevo. Sanchez. Lovely little bit of skill. Mario Nuevo throws the aerial ball, looks for Rebecki. Rebecki wins the free hit. Rebecki cutting in field. Now just needs to roll it out to that right-hand side. This is Augustina Habib. Habib for score. Gets it at the second time of asking. Fortunately for her, she didn't make contact with the stick at the first. Mario Nuevo. Oh, given away to Van der Poels. Habib is back there to wrap it up. That's Florencia Habib, the younger of the two Habibs.
Argentina were most successful when they sort of went around the outside of the Dutch defence, and at the moment they're trying to go through the middle where the numbers are. I think if they're just a little bit more patient and look to transfer the ball from one side to the other, they may get a bit more joy.
Sanchez runs back to retrieve the ball. Barrio Nuevo to Caballero. Caballero trying to use their stick to get Velton out of the way, but Velton too strong and skillful for that to work. Pacing the bench. Let's grab it on Minadeo. Plenty of chat on that radio as Van Marle tries to make something happen. Velton to take the free hit. Velton backing in. Gomez, Zuluoga. Marino against Van Geffen. A little shove from Marino on Margot Van Geffen. That went unnoticed, luckily for Marino. Now Van Geffen's got to keep her cool here. She doesn't want to retaliate. She's done it again, Marino. And Marsaka. And it's gone back to that sort of feeling of a gold medal match, isn't it? The sort of the tentative nature of both sides.
I think all the time, you know, when all the time Argentina were 2 goals up, we knew that the Dutch had to come out and attack, which they certainly started the third quarter doing that. Now you've got this 2-1 scoreline. It's almost, do we push for it and go? Obviously they're going to have to at some point. But do we push now for the equaliser and then they could hit us on the counter, or do we just bide our time and hope we get it in the fourth quarter?
Van der Poel slips it underneath the left shoulder. Dirk van den Heuvel to Vescore. Needs to go left. Velton is there in space. Here is Levi Velton up against Zuluoga, who is not the fastest of defenders. And Velton can't get the ball past her into the space, but she'll take her on the ground instead. And Zuluoga does well to get her feet out the way. Velton still going, and over the line. Oh, touched over the line, long corner.
These are the skills that we're used to seeing from Velton, definitely, and Zuluoga does really well.
on that far side, trying to make something happen. Not 5. Does she not agree? I don't think she agrees with the call. I think she thinks it's gone 5. The way she's looking at towards the technical bench. Fortunately for the technical officials, they're actually up above the benches, up on the back of the stand, so they don't get the full brunt of the coach's anger. Belton. Free hit Argentina. Off a Dutch stick. Van Marsacker, Willemijn Bos. Bos, one touch from Dirkse van den Heuvel. Oh, almost a wonderful pass from Ellen Hurg. That would have been fantastic one-touch hockey.
And potentially three versus 1 on that defender on that side for Argentina.
They're just struggling to get the ball out here, Argentina. A bit more like yesterday.
Yeah, they are, and you know the Dutch are mixing up the press that they're using. There we saw 3 forwards working together to try and just, you know, rob the ball in the midfield.
Well, Marino's in here. She saw Van Geffen downstream. Can she get the better of De Hoede? No, she can't. De Hoede's had a solid game for the Dutch and fired in from Aguirre. Dirkse van den Heuvel is there for the Dutch to get it clear. Van Marle into Barrenuevo. There's a lot of high sticks in this one. Van Marle comes back in field. And Caballero gets it onto the foot and then runs into Van Marle, who then just sort of tries to swing round with the stick up high.
I think with less than a minute left on the clock, you know, Argentina almost then gave the field. Oh, we'll have a little go now. A minute to go before the 3-quarter break.
One-time deflection by Pilar Romain doesn't come off. Hurg, Van Marle, 30 seconds remain. Van Marle comes back to Van Geffen. Van Geffen goes across to Willemijn Bos. Van Marsacker is up that left flank if Bos wants it. There she is. She's got Van Ass inside her. Van Ass loses out to Rebecki. Rebecki goes past to Hoda. Caballero. Here she is, Caballero, scorer of the first Argentina goal. Chops it out for Beef. And that is 3-quarter time. And Argentina still have their lead, but their lead has been cut in half, courtesy of a wonderful penalty corner from Eva de Hoede 3 minutes into the second half. And with 15 minutes left of the women's final, it's the Netherlands 1, Argentina 2. Well, Mel, we possibly could have a grandstand finish because of this.
Yeah, fantastic. Because the Dutch have got such threats on top of the circle, Granato has to run hard to try and block the drag flick, and Van Marsacker just rolls the ball behind her back, and Eva de Hoede gets herself prepared early, has got time to gather and drag the ball, opens up that side really well using her wrists and her body.
She opens her wrists rather late because Suji, you can see, goes to her right-hand side. She thinks she's going to use the full body to generate the pace, but she opens up and goes across the park.
Yeah, and that's what the coaches do. They do their homework on corner defence and corner attack, and it's paid off for Holland here, and it's beautifully balanced going into this 4th quarter, and you just wonder, you know, the Dutch are going to have to come for it at some point, and it could just play into Argentina's hands.
Well, here are the medals that they're playing for. Who will be taking home the golds? At the moment, Argentina are in the box seat, but the Dutch really coming into it. And a nice smile from the helper holding the tray, but they're almost ready to go in this final quarter. It's been a fantastic tournament, and now the Dutch have got 15 minutes to rescue it. 1 unanswered goal takes us to a shootout. 2 secures them their first goal since 2011. It's Argentina who get us underway in the final quarter. Netherlands 1, Argentina 2. The scoreline coming into the final 15 minutes. Can someone step up? Renato too slow as Schoenacker robs her of the ball. And in games such as this, you're looking for someone to win it rather than a mistake to lose it.
Yeah, definitely, and I think the Dutch are going to go for the high press and they're going to try and play with as much intensity as possible.
Well, they played the first quarter of their match yesterday against Argentina on a full press for the entire 15 minutes, so we know they can do it, and Argentina really struggled.
Yeah, Alison Annan came into the studio after that game and she said, you know, that Argentina played 2 presses on us yesterday and we need to do our homework on those. Arguably, they've probably come here today with a 3rd one because they've, certainly in the first half, the Dutch struggled to get the ball out.
Well, they only managed, they didn't manage any goals in the first quarter. They managed 1 goal in the first half yesterday. They've got 1 goal in the second half today. They need a second in due course. To the top of the circle from De Hoda, trying to wrong foot the Argentinian defence. And Rebecca brings it away, wins the free hit, rolls it out to that right-hand side, then goes for the return pass, but it's cut out by Ellen Herg, who goes past Marino, but can't get the better of Augustina Habif, and Marla rolls it in. Nice tackle from Aguirre. Marino, not too many players in blue and white up the park as Marino stops, rolls it back to Aguirre, who loses possession to Van Ass, who comes infield, and Levi Velten wins the free hit, and Habif out of position.
Can't help thinking that Velten is going to be the key to this Dutch side. She had a quiet first quarter, but since then she has been, you know, more and more involved in the play, getting her on the ball, getting into the circle, and she just hasn't quite been able to get the outcomes.
Well, here she's into the circle again. The drag back, though, just too powerful, and it beats everybody, including herself. And Augustina Habib brings it away, plays it into Van Ass, sideline ball. On the header, Rebecca, if she can get it out, needs to shift it to this left-hand side. Aguirre's busting a gut to get up there. It's Rebecca. Marino to her right-hand side. Marino, 2 in the centre to aim for. And Rebecca swings and clatters Eva De Hoda across the shin. Dirkse van den Heuvel had a rare Argentina attack. Hasn't been one of those for a while.
No, but they look so threatening every time they get it, and you know, Rebecca and Marino working exceptionally well, and Eva De Hoda does really well on her defending. She takes, you know, wears one for the team with the swing from Rebecca, but Rebecca's got every right to go for that ball, and you've got to be brave in there, which De Hoda was.
Turnover, is it in the midfield? Yes, it is. Dirkse van den Heuvel just got Van Marler in front of her. Takes it to the corner, trying to buy some time. Sanchez wins the free hit as Ellen Herg comes in with a couple of agricultural tackles.
That's just really good to see someone of Sanchez's experience just being calm and composed in that particular area. Could have panicked with the sticks coming in, and she didn't.
Chopped out. Up to Pilar Romang. Romang, De Hoda back there again. Dirkse van den Heuvel wins the free hit off Florencia Habib. And Geffen to Hoda. And Geffen once more. Van Ass. Jonker. And the sideline ball. Velten fires it in. Chance here. Van Marle can't bring it under control, and Barry in a Weibo spins and gets it out off the Argentina foot, but play on. Van Geffen through Romain, but not through Granato. Granato to Pilar Romain, just has Rebecca to her right and drops it out to Marino.
And it's quite interesting that although there's been sort of a lot of play and we've got into the circles, can't really remember the goalkeepers having to make a save apart from that first quarter. Yes, obviously Suchi's had to pick one out the back of her net in the third quarter, but really apart from the first quarter, I can't remember Sombrook or Suchi having to make a save.
Here's this ball in from Velton. First touch, just a bit heavy from Van Marle, otherwise she's in. Herg wins the free hit off Van der Heide.
The tough one with that trap was the fact she was coming away from goal.
Herg ghosts into the circle, pulls it back. Shovel goal was by Van Marle, but it's wide of the target. Gomez being encouraged to get a move on. And Van Geffen gets the ball. Van der Heide seemed to be underneath it, looking up at it. But Argentina now have possession. Fired forward, looking for Pilar Romain. It's going to have to be something special to get past Willemijn Bos from that distance. And it's gone against Campoy. Seem to be being really hustled there by the Dutch. Van Geffen. And look at that, no shots at all in this final quarter. No shots in this half yet from Argentina. I think that's courtesy of the 2-goal lead. Surely we're not going to see a team in consecutive matches throw away a 2-goal lead. Australia did that against the USA.
Well, it is possible. It's known on the circuit as the curse of the 2-0 scoreline, and it happens so many times and so often in tournaments. And who knows, with 7.5 minutes left, it is possible.
Well, it happened 4 times in the men's competition last week.
I think that's the beauty of hockey and the changes in the rules, is it doesn't seem to matter now what the scoreline is. Players have the ability to score from anywhere.
Van Geffen. Down the line from Van der Poels. Van Marle, still going Van Marle. The airplanes from City Airport just being diverted overhead after takeoff. A couple of planes overhead in the last 15 minutes or so. There's the crowd. They're absorbed by this one. It hasn't been as pulsating as perhaps the first 2 matches we've seen, but it is the best 2 sides in the world battling it out, and well, this competition bills itself as the best of the best, and we have got the best. There's Madonna Blythe and the Australians. That's more like it. The New Zealanders a little shy.
Can't miss them in those yellow jackets, can you?
I guess you have to be like that if you're wearing such a bright jacket.
I think going back to these 2 teams, because they are number 1 and number 2 in the world, they have contested a lot of finals recently, and they're going to know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and there's always a cagey affair when there's a gold medal at stake. It doesn't matter which competition it's in. 40 days out from Rio, it's an opportunity to get one over on your closest rival.
Well, the other thing is, of course, because they're 1 and 2 in the world, they never get drawn in the same pool together, so they're always playing knockout matches against each other. That is, of course, the Champions Trophy in the Olympic Games. But again, well, in the Olympic Games, because they're in different pools. Just the Champions Trophy, ball across, shot! Oh, what a save that is from Sombrook. She's been a spectator for most of the match, but she gets down to save sharply from Granato. But Delfina Marino having a word with Michel Joubert. It's a bit late now, isn't it?
I don't understand this. She's just explained I gave you an advantage.
I played advantage. There was a footy, I saw it,
And then I had the shot on that side, so to me it was advantage. Won't you just have a look for me, please?
This is personally for me, this is a silly referral. Granato was one-on-one with Sombrook. She's just had it explained to her by Michelle Joubert. I've played advantage. And that, for me, is an adequate advantage.
Michelle?
Yep.
There's no reason to change your decision.
Thank you. So it's a long corner.
Long corner, and Argentina lose their referral.
Thank you. Wait for time.
You're absolutely right.
Thank you.
Theoretically, we shouldn't get it.
You manage. Thank you.
That's an arguing the point. Because they referred and got their referral wrong, it should be a free out.
Correct. I think any time you go to the, I think there, Argentina went to the referral.
I also question the amount of time it took to refer. But either way, it's still a...
She has a point.
Well, she does have a point, but either way, it's a silly referral is what I was going to say.
No, absolutely. As I said, Michelle Joubert, has explained clearly to the players and asked probably 2 or 3 times to Delfina Marino, do you still want to refer? And she said yes.
Well, there's only 4:35 now and left in the game, so perhaps it's one of those who you think, well, let's give it a go. You never know. But you're right; it's pretty clear. It's not a rule that's been challenged, is it? It's an interpretation, and that's very difficult to overturn.
No, definitely. And I think if Argentina were 2-1 down, I could understand it more. But they're 2-1 up, and then they may need that referral with 4 minutes left on the clock. You never know.
Well, Veltin takes up possession. Habib wins it back and then plays it to Marino, who's now on this left-hand flank. She's got support coming through Sanchez. Schernacker with a couple of hacks at the stick, but nothing given. But it's an Argentina sideline ball. Barrio Nuevo into Habib. And Keitels just runs at Habib, and Ronda Hayder can't keep it in play, and a poor touch from Van Ass allows Sanchez just to run it over the sideline. 3:35 remaining. Barrio Nuevo. Back to Gomez, all the way over to Habib. Valencia Habib up the sideline to Granato, tries to turn it infield. Willemijn Bos to De Goda.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen Holland take their goalkeeper off, because they're not used to being behind in a game. They've never really had to think about that as an option. And with 3 minutes left on the clock, do you just pull your keeper and go, do you know what? We'll go with it and see what happens.
Well, you never know. They might need to do it in the Olympic Games. Oh, there's no movement on the bench. Belief in the process. Down the line from Aguirre. Rebecca wins the sideline ball. Rebecca. Another free hit to Argentina, and Marino goes for a little individual wobble along the goal line, wins the free hit on the edge of the circle. Aguirre fires it across the circle, almost falls to Granato, off the stick of Van Ass, I think it was, and de Waard. Her cracking it up the park, straight to Barrio Nuevo, into Sanchez. Sanchez, nice little turn away from Schernacker and from Jonker, still going. It's nothing for her troubles. Jonker's gone down. Hellman.
Mixed feelings for London, hasn't she? Won the Olympic gold in 2012 and then has had to miss 2 subsequent finals through injury.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Argentina having possession, and then they lose out for Bully. Granato tries to make the tackle, and Marsaka into Rebecca. Almost the final 90 seconds. It's the last throw of the dice here for the Dutch to try and take us to a shootout. Granato gets half a stick on it. Veltin doing a level best, trying to make something happen. Veltin still going. And then They're going to refer it. Dirksen van den Heuvel wants to refer.
They're not going 5 minutes. I blew a free hit this way. I haven't given a corner. You want a corner? You want a corner?
Okay, Velton wants a penalty corner. Hope rather than expectation.
Minute left on the clock, why not?
Do you know they're asking for a penalty corner for the defender not going 5 metres? Please check.
Okay, Netherlands referral.
Yes.
Players not 5 metres, I'll have a look.
So the free hit's there. 2, 3.
I think she's taken at 5, isn't she?
Yeah.
Kelly?
Yep.
There is no clear reason to change your decision. It's a free hit defence. The Netherlands lose their referral.
Okay, thank you.
Hope rather than expectation.
But I don't agree she was backing in, Velton, which you could see her frustration jumping up and down.
Yeah.
I feel that she's moving. She's not backing in. She's moving on
Across
exactly
the
the
circle,
same.
yeah.
Exactly. And if the defender chooses to walk in, then that's her choice.
Hold on. She'd already stopped the clock. Kelly Hudson had already stopped the clock. She'd crossed her arms, so the clock had already stopped when the ball was rolled away. So it's not time wasting. Velton takes it. Velton on the reverse stick, in it comes. Oh, Zuluoga's almost caught napping. In fact, it's Habib almost got across from Van Ass into the foot of Velton.
Barnuevo has one of the biggest aerials in world hockey, and all she had to do was chuck it.
Well, she needs to chuck it right now. There it goes. Sideline ball from Marsaka. 20 seconds remaining. Here is Jonker, Barnuevo, Velton into the circle. Dirksen van den Heuvel, her beef out to Rebecki. Rebecki. 12 seconds remaining. It's got to be thrown down the park here from Sanchez, surely. She's going to try and run the clock down with the ball on the end of her stick. Sanchez is going to do enough. Barnuevo will usher it out, and it is another Champions Trophy title for Argentina. 6 of the last 7 have gone the way of Las Leonas, and it's a second hat-trick. There's some afters. Margot van Geffen really unhappy.
She can't. I don't care how upset you are that you've lost a final. You have no right to walk up to an official and say it's the worst game of your life. And I hope somebody says something to her, because that is unacceptable.
Well, Argentina won't mind, because they have overturned a pool defeat to the Netherlands yesterday with a 2-1 victory here. 2-0 up at half-time, courtesy of goals from Martina Caballero and from Noel Barnuevo. The Dutch came back in the second half. The final score in this gold medal match, Netherlands 1, Argentina 2.
Matez, it was a nervy last few minutes, but congratulations. The first team in Champions Trophy history to have won it 7 times.
Yeah, we passed some few minutes with a lot of pressure on our D. We can handle it. We could defend. It were some minutes that where the players were very nervous, but we did it okay. We did our job on the first half, and well, okay, now we have a gold medal.
There's some great scenes with your girls now jumping in celebration, but how important is this gold medal when it's only 40 days to Rio?
Yeah, it's very important. Always it's important to win. We had now we put in our heads to play now the Champions Trophy, and well, now we will think for Rio. But we wanted to play the Champions Trophy, and we wanted to win it. So this team shows a lot today.
You're taking the trophy home again. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mike.
Right, John.
Reaction from Matthias Fehler.
Yes, congratulations to Argentina. Fantastic scenes here for them. They're celebrating mixed emotions, of course, for the Dutch. They'll be disappointed that they didn't really bring their A game to this final. They missed their captain, of course, Marcia Pauwman, and they'll be very disappointed. But Argentina rightfully winning the final. A wonderful performance, a complete transformation from yesterday. I have Sarah Thomas and And oh, there we are. We have the Dutch team there. They're very, very upset, understandably. They were the red-hot favourites here, but were outmanoeuvred, outthought in so many ways in this final. A big loss, Marja Pauwman. Remember, she has a fractured foot. But any Dutch fans out there, she says she should be back for Rio. Anyway, Sarah, what did you make of that final? We wonder whether Argentina could transform their performance from yesterday, but they did.
Yeah, they did, and we've seen that so many times before, particularly in finals and of champion trophies. I think that's what 6 out of 7 wins for them now in this tournament. And I mean, the last thing you want to do is go 2-0 down to them in the first quarter. They have so much fire in their bellies when they come to the final stages, and you can just, that's the last thing you want to do is go down to them in that stage.
You can see the disappointment in their faces, Sally Walton, and you know, the coach is desperately trying to lift them. They say hockey and losing's a learning experience, but they'll be back, won't they?
I think you learn a lot more about yourself when you lose games because it forces you to reflect. For me, those pictures are powerful because it shows you just how much it means to them. They are the consummate professionals, and they obviously want to win every game they play. They'll be disappointed with that, but let's just hope that that spurs them on to things in Rio. But seven wins in the Champions Trophy for Argentina, I mean, that's just a phenomenal statistic.
That's incredible stuff. They said, didn't they, they love finals.
And they do.
Watch us in the finals, they kept
do.
saying to us, and they delivered.
Yeah, and they always do, and that's the thing with Argentina. When they get to that stage, I don't know, they just become a completely different team. They've just got this extra level, and we saw it when we played them in the Champions Trophy final in 2012. And they're so good in terms of the composure and defence. They stay nice and tight, but equally they take those chances when they have them.
Yeah, and it's unusual for them to win away from home. We know that they're formidable in Argentina, but to come here in London is an incredible performance.
Absolutely, that just bodes well for them in Rio. They're comfortable playing out of their own backyards. They bring massive crowds to the games, and I'm sure they'll have a massive following in Rio, but they're playing well. I hope they take their confidence with them into Rio because it'll make for a fantastic tournament.
Yeah, what do you think? Does that make a big difference? We've been saying all along that if you do win, if you do perform, it puts down a marker for Rio.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because we've seen from Argentina previously as well that they've won the Champions Trophy but haven't gone on to win an Olympic Games in the recent years. So it's an interesting one. For me, my money would still be on the Netherlands to win the Olympic Games in Rio just because of the depth they have in that team.
I've got to say, this team's thorough. Not only were they brilliantly organised on the pitch, they're making sure they look beautiful for the team photos, making the ribbons okay, looking okay. There's such a wonderful spirit amongst these women.
Yeah, and quite a young team as well. Like I said, that camaraderie on and off the pitch only bodes well for them as a nation and playing. So you see that transfer onto the pitch. They're such a tight unit. You see them around the hotel. They're always laughing, always joking, always dancing, singing. They bring that onto the pitch, and you know they are a tight-knit squad, and they thoroughly deserve their win today.
Yeah, it's a lovely scene seeing everybody celebrating, family members, spectators. Mel Clulow's joined us now. I'll say, Mel, I bow down to you. Whoever scores first wins. You got it right.
Just about. I have to say, when the Dutch got that 1 goal back, I was thinking, I've got my prediction wrong. But yeah, I think Argentina thoroughly deserved that victory. I was a little bit disappointed with the Dutch reaction at full time. I think they need to look at themselves before they start to blame an official for what's happened in the game. But, you know, credit to Argentina. I think they've really laid their marker down for Rio, and it wouldn't be surprised if that was the final. Didn't really live up to expectation, but it was a fascinating game, and I'm looking forward certainly to Rio and what hockey can bring.
Yeah, okay, we're just watching and enjoying these scenes. We're just waiting for the presentation ceremony to get themselves organised, and we'll see them lift that trophy. Oh, might do a little bit of samba. Might get my dancing shoes out again, Sally, and join in. They were frustrated. I mean, Mel mentions how they reacted at the end of the game. They just couldn't get and play the game that we know that the Dutch can produce.
The Dutch girls, they're good enough to let their hockey do the talking, and like Mel said, just disappointed with the way that they reacted to the umpire at the end of the game. They've got to be professional. You've got to leave, nothing to chance. That, it's all very well blaming the umpire in the last couple of seconds of a game, but you've been playing for 60 minutes. You needed to make the chances count when they came. They didn't, and Argentina rightfully won us today.
Can I ask you, what did the Argentina side do that so many countries have not been able to do against Holland in this particular match?
See, I was thinking that during the game whilst watching. I think what it is they've just got, equal creativity, and so they meet their match in that respect. And I don't think other teams bring that in the depth, in the same depth. So, you know, you can mark out Rebecca, but then Granato has a good game. You mark out her, and Delphi has a good game. So I think that's what Argentina bring. And also they have, more than any other team, I think, a good track record against the Netherlands. So they have the belief in their mindset, whereas I think an awful lot of teams turn up to the Netherlands and think, oh, we can't beat these girls, even though, you know, they want to. There's a little bit of doubt in their mind, whereas I think Argentina, certainly at the final stage as well, they've had them before.
Yeah, they've got so much talent, as you say, in so many parts. Look, they are celebrating away. I don't want to be the coach driver tonight, because they love to shake that about as well, don't they, Mel?
Oh, they're one of the best teams when they've won a competition. They really have, and they know how to dance. You wouldn't even think they've just played a final.
No.
So much energy, so much passion, and this is what it's about.
Yeah.
You know, they enjoy. That is what they bring onto the field as much as it is off the field. And I think, you know, this tournament, as I say, has been brilliant. And for them, I think it's just given them a little bit of confidence that they can actually beat the Dutch in a major final.
Okay, well, we thank you very much for the time being. I'm sure we'll be looking back at the tournament in just a moment. We are just getting ready for our medal ceremony. I think all the players are ready, all the photographers are ready, so we just may pause for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, we can now start the award ceremony for the Women's Hockey Champions Trophy 2016. And first, we have the individual awards for the best of the best at this year's competition. So please give silence to Ashley Morrison.
Thanks very much, Chris. And the first award tonight is for the best junior player of the tournament, and the award will be presented by Mr. Paul Osborne, Lee Valley Regional Park Authority. And the winner of the best junior player of the tournament is Mariah Granato from Argentina. Maria, if we can have just a quick word. What does this award mean to you, winning this?
I'm very happy. Thank you very much for the trophy. Thank you very much.
And Rio, excited?
Yes, very, very. Thank you.
Congratulations. Felicitaciones.
Gracias.
Well, the second award is for the best goalkeeper of the tournament. And I would like to ask Mr. Simon Cooper, Head of Sport from the London Mayor's Office, to come forward to present the award. And ladies and gentlemen, the best goalkeeper in the tournament, she celebrated her 100th cap here in London, Joyce Sombroek from the Netherlands. Well, Joyce, obviously not the way you would have wanted the tournament to end.
No, definitely not. We really wanted to win this game, and we gave it away in the first quarters, and let this be a lesson. And we wanted, next time, of course, we want to win gold.
People say you often learn more from defeats. I mean, it's better it happens now than in Rio.
Definitely, but we have to make sure that it doesn't happen again.
It's a second time you've come here and not had the result you wanted. It must be soul-destroying.
Of course, we would have wanted to win here, but we have to learn, and in Rio, we have to be at our best.
Well, thanks very much. Congratulations on the award.
Thank you.
Well, the third award is for the top goal scorer in the tournament, and I'm very pleased to introduce Mrs. Annie Panta, the chair of the FIH Athletes Committee, to present the award to Carla Rebecca with 7 goals for Argentina. Congratulations, Carla. And Carla will receive £750 for this award. And that will go a long way to the celebrations tonight, I'm sure. The next award is for the best player of the tournament, and they will receive a cheque for £1,000. And to present the award is Ashley Flight, Investec Digital Marketing Manager. And I'm very pleased to announce the player of the tournament is the captain of Argentina, Carla Rebecki. And here comes the check. Well, Carla, if we can have a quick word. Obviously, yesterday was a very different game to the one today.
Yeah, of course. We know today was the important, the final, and we play different today.
Was it always a plan to come out and try and catch the Dutch early and get ahead?
Yeah, I think it's important to score first, and we did it, and then we can keep that difference.
It was quite a tough game, though. They did come back, and it looked as if they may well force a shootout.
Yeah, I think it was a really tough game. It's always against them, and we like to play against them, and it was a nice match.
Just one last question. Psychologically going into Rio, does this give you an edge?
I think it's important as a motivation for us, but we know we have to keep training hard to get a good result in Rio.
Well, congratulations on the personal awards and also as a team.
Thank you very much.
And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the awards down here pitch side for the individual awards.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Ladies and gentlemen, it now brings me great pleasure to present the medals here now for the Hero Hockey Champions Trophy 2016. And to present the silver medals, please welcome Liz Nichol of UK Sport Chief Executive Officer and Sue Catton, the FIH Executive Board member. So, to receive their silver medals, please give them an enormous round of applause. Netherlands. Congratulations to the Netherlands, an outstanding team. 100% record in the pool matches, and we wish them the very best of luck in Rio. Please give them a roll round of applause. The silver medalists, the Netherlands. And of course, we hope, Marcia, you are fit and well come Rio. The Netherlands captain. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now please welcome to present the gold medals, Leandro Negre, the FIH president, and Richard Leman, the Great Britain hockey president. Please welcome the gold medalists and the winners of the Hockey Champions Trophy, Argentina. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to present the trophy to the winning captain, the International Hockey Federation President, Leandro Negre. Your winners of the Hockey Champions Trophy are Argentina. Some fabulous scenes there. Argentina celebrating, yes, their 7th Champions Trophy win. It's great to see a bit of an upset, isn't it? It's great to see a team that promised they deliver in the final, Mel, and did.
Yeah, definitely. It's absolutely fantastic to see somebody else on top of the podium other than the Dutch, and I mean that in a nice way, because I think actually what that does is it opens up the competition in Rio. The Dutch are going to go back home, they're going to reassess, and they are going to come out to defend that Olympic title, but blimey, hockey's looking really positive and strong in Rio, and it's going to be fantastic.
What will other teams learn, do you think, from Argentina's performance and say, yes, we can compete with the Dutch?
Yeah, I think just their belief in their ability and capability to produce when they need to produce it, and I think any team looking at that thinks, yeah, you know, Netherlands are beatable, and, you know, what are our tactics around that? And for me as a coach, it'd be like, how can I make my players more creative and get them to take shots from whatever angle off whatever foot and get it in the back of the net?
Yeah, because that was the really encouraging thing. It wasn't a team that set out and said, right, we're going to defend, park the old proverbial bus. We're going to attack. And you saw it in the individual winners, Granato, Rebecca. They won it by playing beautiful hockey.
Yeah, it's great for the spectators as well, just to see that free-flowing attacking hockey, just encouraging flair. Looks good on the telly, looks good when you're here watching it. Just the speed at which they do these skills. Some of the skills we've demonstrated this week, it's just been sublime.
Yeah, and do you see these two teams, the Netherlands and Argentina, and a massive gap to everybody else, Sarah?
I don't know if it's a massive gap. I mean, Australia are playing really well. They've got good structure. It's just in the final third. I mean, typically over the last number of years, they've been extremely good, and they deserve to be where they are. But I mean, if you see the likes of USA winning a bronze on the day, they could potentially surprise any team now as well. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's you don't want to see a wounded Dutch side, do you? Because you know they are going to come back stronger.
Of course, of course. I mean, they won the gold medal in Beijing and in London, so they're up there and they're number one for a reason. And as I say, I think the competition here has been brilliant. I think the teams have been fantastic. There's been some awesome hockey played, and as you say, the Dutch are only going to come back stronger. And it's a scary thought for everyone that's heading to Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the other teams soon, but we're just sort of soaking in these celebration shots. As I said a number of times, we're sharing the hotel room, the hotel with the Argentina side, and we know that we're not in for much, Lee. There are going to be some massive celebrations, and quite rightly so, Sally.
They've won that many trophies, they've had a lot of time to prepare, and they know their celebrations. They do go right on into the night. They work hard on the training pitch, as every nation does, so they deserve their celebrations. You won't be getting much sleep tonight with those guys, especially if they're in your room.
Yes, exactly. And knowing you and the celebrations that you lot got under in 2012, you know where to go. You can tell them where to go and celebrate.
Oh yeah, I'll go and have a word with them in a minute. I'm sure there's plenty of places they can go, but they make the party wherever they are. So.
Yeah, they certainly do. Well, congratulations to Argentina. A fantastic victory over the Netherlands. They surprised everybody, didn't they? Made such a blistering start, going to a 2-goal lead, and they held on, rightly winners against the mighty Dutch. We'll look back at all the action and hopefully get more reaction from the players and coaches involved straight after the break. Argentina, the Champions Trophy winners for a record 7th time.